everybody. I just thought I would do an update video on my life since the last one I did. That was titled Happy Wife, Happy Life. And yeah, I've changed my hair since then. I've gone back to like my natural colour because the blonde was just a bit much. It was kind of ruining my hair, and I just kind of got sick of going to the hairdressers and redoing it. Yeah, a fair bit has actually happened since that video. I might be talking funny because I have retainers in at the moment because my teeth have sort of moved back, and I found this so interesting. Actually, now it's just sort of come to my mind. Super cool. I feel like God has just put this in my head. Just like the way he works with me, I said in my last video that he kind of takes me forward quite fast into heavy and deep things and then pulls me back kind of to the start and to basics. And so like 3 years ago, so I think even before I was saved, yeah, so by the time I had become born again, my braces were off. So I had braces like 3 years ago, maybe a bit longer and I had them, or maybe longer than 3 years ago. It's been a while now. But yeah, so I had braces. My front teeth, like the two here, so not my very front ones, the two next to them were kind of pushed forward, and like all my teeth were crowded. So yeah, I got 4 teeth removed and had braces, and then my teeth were like pretty good for like a few years after, but I noticed that they have started to move back, and it wasn't until we got in this house that I really started to notice it, and it was really bothering me. Like they kind of moved back to their original positions, and I kind of dropped the ball. And in a way, I'm just kind of recognizing that it's sort of like my spiritual life. I'm so strong and like on fire for long periods of time, and then I kind of come back and I drop the ball and I'm a bit crooked again, you know, and God's got to straighten me out. And that's what I'm doing with my teeth. I've gotten like the Invisalign, so it's like a clear retainer, pushing them back to the positions that I had them when they were straight. So yes, I will be talking a bit funny. What else? I have got tattoos on my fingers, as you can probably see, and it says, oh, you won't be able to probably see, it says Revelation, which is obviously after the chapter Revelation, which is one of my favorites. I just find it to be a very intense, scary, yet hopeful chapter, and it really speaks to me. It always has. And I'd been wanting to get something like that tattooed on me for a while, and yeah, it actually has struck up a few conversations with people that probably wouldn't have ever asked about God and stuff. So in a way, it's kind of worked to my advantage, although I know a lot of people watch this and like in the future might see it, probably don't agree with tattoos and say that the Bible condemns it and whatnot, but I believe that the context it was written in that particular time was more to do with pagans worshipping, you know, other gods and stuff, and kind of marking their skin with different ruins and symbols and stuff, but I'm not going to get into that. So what else has happened? Yeah, I was kind of like a bit exhausted and tired in my last video, just because I'd been on this beautiful holiday to New Zealand and it wasn't what I thought it would be. But obviously God works in mysterious ways, and sometimes in the crappiest situations oh my gosh, I always have one hair like dangling in my videos. I have to get this one under control, because last time I watched the video and it was just doing my head in. Yeah, and I just felt kind of burnt out from that holiday, and was trying to work on my health and my overall well-being, to be a better wife, to be happier within myself, to be a better friend, a better daughter and whatnot. And since then, I'd found out that my dad has a tumour in his esophagus. And this has just happened in the last few weeks, like it's just progressed. And at the same time, actually right before I found this out about my dad, my mum was sort of having strange symptoms that she thought might be related to MS. So she was kind of having strange episodes and then going to hospitals. And while all this has been happening, you know, my brother lives with my dad and my sister lives with my mum, and I'm on my own here with my husband. So I have been more separated. I have been sort of doing my own thing. You know, I don't see them as much. I kind of only talk to them on the phone and maybe see my mum once every few weeks. My dad, not even that much. And, you know, well, I think I just had my brother and sister over for dinner, and Trav, all of us had dinner together, and they were all kind of venting to me about their feelings and being a bit overwhelmed with trying to figure out how to deal with mum and dad being sick. And I just kind of got really heartbroken because I'm the oldest and I just felt like I wasn't doing my part as the older sibling to kind of take control and support them. And it really hit me hard. Like, my sister was sort of saying, you know, where have you been? Like, you haven't even asked mum if she's okay, and you haven't been there. And which I can understand, you know, I don't think was fully true. Like, I had been messaging my mum and everything, but I probably didn't give her enough support, and it was sort of falling on my sister's shoulders, and she was feeling the burden of all this pressure, which she shouldn't have had to have felt. And the same with my brother. You know, he'd been going through a few different things in his life, and then we find out that dad was having trouble swallowing food and getting really bad heartburn and not being able to keep food down and stuff like that, and it was a bit of a concern. So he'd been back and forth to doctors. Meanwhile, I had no idea that any of this was happening, because dad was saying to my brother, you know, don't tell Cassie, don't worry her, like, I'd rather tell her when I know what's really going on. And I mean, obviously brothers and sisters don't really keep things a secret. We all tell each other stuff. I'm sure everyone's like that with their brothers and sisters. So it was just like this big emotional thing has just hit my family, and I felt like God was sort of showing me hey, you need to be a big sister and kind of help them out. So my mum, she ended up being fine. It was sort of a false alarm, not MS, and sort of just needed to kind of calm her nerves down and try and look after herself, so her body wasn't reacting, you know, in a kind of like a fight-flight response. But my dad, so he has a tumour in his esophagus, which they have said is benign and not cancerous. However, the doctor treating him still thinks that it could end up spreading and be, you know, coming worse. So he will have to get chemo and radiation and treat it sort of aggressively to try and shrink the tumour before he can get it removed. So the last few days my dad's been in hospital. He's being fed through a tube right now because the tumour is so engorged around his esophagus, like he cannot get anything down at all. Like it's not going down. So he's lost so much weight, and yeah, he's in hospital right now, and it was so hard to see. Like, it was really challenging, but you know, one thing about being a Christian is that you know that God has a plan for everyone and that you shouldn't interfere with it, and all you can do is pray and ask for healing, but at the end of the day, people have a destiny and it has to be fulfilled, and sometimes that includes sickness and illness and not such pretty things. So I kind of feel like I'm in not denial and not shock. I can't really get emotional right now because I'm sort of just relying on God to be in control of what's happening to my dad. And I think the most important thing is if it comes down to dad really getting sick, I have to try and plant seeds and have a few talks with him about his faith and maybe being more open to having some sort of spiritual life, which can really help people get through these times. So that's kind of what I'm going through at the moment. Trav and I have been fantastic since the last video. He watched the video, I think, and kind of saw that I was a little bit affected and that I am trying to be healthier for both of us and for myself. And with the whole trying to have a baby thing, it has been stressing me out a little bit, and I was trying to get on top of it as far as like downloading different apps about when I'm ovulating and when I'm most fertile, and I didn't really want to get too crazy into that because I don't want to be the type that's like, come on Trav, it's time to make a baby. Like, it just takes like the beauty away from it when I'm trying to be all technical. And what I'm really trying to focus on is my diet and my lifestyle, and trying to sync up with my body and know what my body's doing and know when my body's reacting to certain things. And I can't be impatient about having a baby. I should be trying to be as healthy as I can be so that I can nurture and carry a baby in my body, and I really need to rely on God. There's been so many examples in the Bible that keep coming up in my mind of women, couples in the Bible that are trying to have a baby and they can't conceive for years and years and years, and then they kind of give up, and then they're at the point where the woman and the man are quite old and they're kind of like, we're never going to have a baby, there's no way. And then God's kind of like, actually I'm in control, and boom, you're pregnant. Not that I'm like expecting God to give me a baby at like 40 years old. And not to say that won't happen, because it's whatever God wants, but I just think this is really coming down to me having faith, and I really have to just trust God in this. I have to trust God with my dad, my mum, their health. I have to trust God with what's going on in my marriage. It all comes down to just relying on God again and again and again. So many things come up and you think, I can take control, I can do this on my own, and just, it's a little trap I think a lot of Christians will fall into, because we want to take ownership and control of our lives. And it's very hard to let go of leading your own life and pretty much being like, here God, I give you everything I have, take it and do what you want with it. Like, that's like, you need a lot of strength to do that, I think. So yes. What else? Yeah, so it's actually my anniversary today, our second wedding anniversary today, which is really cool. I've just had a really peaceful day with God, kind of worshiping and listening to worship music, and just kind of appreciating the stillness and quietness of my house. I'm so eager to have babies, and not realizing, your whole life changes after that. Like, you don't get any peace and quiet after that. And I'm really trying to just take in that I have this peace and quiet every day when I wake up, and this stillness that I probably will not appreciate if I don't really take it in. So I've been looking after my plants, watering all my plants, kind of just letting the day take me, and just letting whatever happen, trying to be supportive, trying to let go of negativity and like just bad thoughts that don't need to be in there, trying to pray more and just wait on God. So yeah, I'm not going to let this video run for like 30 minutes like I did last time because I really wasn't paying attention. I just wanted to give a little update and let everyone know that I'm good and this is the way that my life works. I'm constantly up and down and up and down. And then there's those rare occasions where I'm actually feeling balanced and just going with it. And right now, the last few weeks I have felt quite balanced. I've felt not overwhelmed at work, not overwhelmed at home, a little bit stressed about the health of my family, but it's, you know, everyone goes through this. It's what happens with older age and, you know, in the times we're living in, like, we're all probably sick with something. Like, this world's infested with poison. Everything we ingest is poisonous. And it's just the way that it is now. Life expectancy, like, is not going to be that long. I feel like to live past 80 is like a miracle these days, I reckon. So yeah, I'd really love like anyone to comment below, or to give me links to their page or YouTube or testimonies. I'm kind of, like I always am, a bit of a lone wolf in all of this, and while I have the online church that I follow, I don't really know anyone else that follows. Like, I speak to the pastor every now and again, but I don't really fellowship with anyone else in that church. Like, it's just me and my husband. Like, I don't really have anyone else other than the people online. You're kind of like my family online, so yeah, I'd love to just fellowship a bit more with other people wherever I can. So I will talk to you next time. See you later.